Chapter 19, A New Ball Game. Well, 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 Bobby Fuller sneered as I stepped up to the plate. Look who's back, Stashak the Polak. I had been suspended for most of the season because of the riot I had started. My team, the Yellow Jackets, had done pretty well without me. They finished the season tied for first place with Fuller's team. We were playing a one-game playoff to see who could call themselves the champions of the Louisville Little League. The president of the league had lifted my suspension so I could play in the final game. But Coach Hutchinson was still mad at me, so he didn't put me in the starting lineup. Somebody reminded him that a Little League rule states everybody on the bench has to play at least one inning, so Coach Hutchinson had no choice but to put me in the game. The score was tied at 6-6 in the bottom of the sixth inning. We had 2 outs when Coach Hutchinson finally decided to put me in as a pinch hitter. How cool would it be, I thought, to slam a home run off Bobby Fuller right now. That would totally humiliate him and win the championship for us in one swing of the bat. Man, if I did that, Fuller might as well get a shovel and dig his own grave right on the pitcher's mound. Life he knew it would be over. The big, dumb, ugly Polak is back, Fuller laughed, looking in for the sign. Did you enjoy your vacation? He wound up and threw his hard one right at my head. Instinctively, my legs crumpled to pull my head out of the line of fire. Fuller laughed as my bat flew up in the air and hit me on the arm. The umpire gave Fuller a warning and helped me to my feet. Oops, Fuller smirked. That one slipped. You gonna let him get away with that? The catcher whispered to me. Why don't you go out there and show him who's boss? Yeah, I could do that, but it wouldn't put a run on the scoreboard. I see you have the guts to throw a ball at my head, I yelled to Fuller. Do you have the guts to throw it over the plate? You say I'm gutless? Fuller shot back. You heard me, I shouted. You know you can't get me out fair and square. You're afraid to pitch to me. I could come over there and break your face, Stashak. Yeah, that'd be another way to avoid pitching to me. Fuller stomped around the mound, thinking things over. Cut out the trash talk, boys, the umpire hollered. Your mommies don't want to hear that stuff. I knew Fuller was going to throw a slow curve over the outside corner, and he did. I flicked the bat at it and sent it up the middle. If he had merely stuck his glove out in front of his face, he would have caught the ball and the game would be over. But Fuller ducked to get out of the way, the coward. The ball skipped over the second base bag and into center field. Fuller was steaming. I took a lead at first base. He looked at me, and I stuck my tongue out at him. I'm gonna steal, I teased him. There's nothing you can do to stop me. Fuller threw over to first, almost throwing the ball away. I jumped right back up and extended my lead a little further. He didn't want me to reach second, I knew, because I could score on a single from there. Fuller wheeled around quickly and threw to first, trying to catch me off base. I didn't hesitate. Instead of diving back to the bag, I broke for second. Seeing me run the other way must have thrown him off. His throw to first went wild. It sailed over the first baseman's head and into the crowd. I was already past second. The umpire said I could advance to third on the overthrow. If Fuller had been a volcano, he would have erupted. His infielders gathered around him trying to calm him down, but it was hopeless. They needed a tranquilizer gun. Bobby, I called sweetly from third base. Oh, Bobby, it's me, your worst nightmare. You know, the dumb Polak. I'm gonna steal home now. Don't think I won't try. Stealing home, I know, is one of the most risky, physically dangerous, and exciting plays in baseball. No human being can run as fast as the slowest pitch. The odds are against the runner. That's why hardly anybody ever does it. But if you can get a good jump, a bad pitch, and a little luck, you can pull it off. I knew I would have my best chance on the first pitch. If I let him throw a few pitches over the plate, he might regain control of himself, and I'd lose my advantage. He threw over to third a couple times. It gave me a pretty good look at his pick-off move. As he peered in for the sign, I could tell he wasn't going to throw over again. He was concentrated on the batter. As soon as he brought the ball over his head to begin his windup, I broke for the plate. I didn't look over at him after that. It would just slow me down. It was a race between me and the ball. The catcher saw me coming home and was bracing himself for the plate. The ball wasn't there yet, so I had a good chance to beat it, or at least knock it out of the catcher's hands. 10 feet from the plate, I started my slide, leaving my feet and extending my right toe in front of me. The pitch must have been a little high because the catcher stood up to snare it. I heard it smack against his mitt. He brought the mitt down on me, and we tumbled across the plate together. I thought I was there, but you never know how the umpire's going to see things. "Safe," called the ump. The Yellow Jackets were all over me before I could even get up. Everybody was yelling and screaming and pounding me on the back. I hadn't been in a pile-up like that since the riot I started before the season. When everything had settled down, Coach Hutchinson came over and wrapped an arm around me. "Where'd you learn to play like that, Coach?" I said. "You wouldn't believe me in a million years."